Unfortunately, it's going to be my last Hobart, and what I'm looking forward to is the usual winning. And I'm happy if the rest of the crews let me have the sympathy vote and actually win. The reason I last Hobart, this will be my 18th, and I always wanted to get to 25, but unfortunately, I've got a bit of a heart doctor that is concerned that I shouldn't keep doing long distance ocean races, and suggested I do harbour races, but I'm not really into harbour racing. So yeah, unfortunately this will be my last one, so I really have to win. The professor has been hinting for the last few years that I consider it, and I just fobbed him off. And unfortunately, when I went to hospital last time, which was only a couple of weeks ago, wife and daughter came to the hospital and they actually got to talk to the doctor, so the cat was out of the bag, so that was it. So really it got sort of made for me. I played rugby till I was 30, and it was only when the injuries started to catch up that I looked for another sport, and the Army had gun runner was brand new in those days, which anyway, it's been a lot of years, and anyway, that's where I started on gun runner, and then the America's Cup came up. I think it was '87 when Australia had it over in Perth, and the Army had an entrant in that, the big old timber boat Balandra, which a lot of people have probably heard of, and we did, there was a race from Hobart to Adelaide to Esperance to Perth, and then back again. So I had 3 months off doing offshore sailing in Balandra when I'd virtually just done my competent crew course. So after that, harbour sailing was never really an appeal. It always had to be ocean racing. Well, I remember it mainly because I was cold, and I only had a pair of Dunlop volley runners and that orange marlin wet weather gear. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I remember thinking this race is very cold. And but yeah, I still really enjoyed it, and I came back year after year, and yeah, and now obviously the wet weather gear is a lot more improved, makes it a lot more comfortable. But yeah, that one, and probably the other biggest memory obviously is the '98 Hobart. Which, you know, we managed to finish, and yeah, so that was probably the other biggest one. I think luck just has to change at some stage, and you know, we'll have breeze across Storm Bay and we'll have breeze up the Derwent, because we certainly do well in the offshore part down to Tasman Island. Once we start, we're all equals on there. Like I'm still a skipper and that sort of stuff, but the navigator does his bit, Jim, 2IC on the boat, and everybody's got an area of responsibility. Everybody does everything. Everybody steers. There's no one just sort of sitting around just as a trimmer on board. No, everybody's an integral part, so they all feel equal, and we're equally responsible with the results. You know, we all make a decision, okay, let's do this, and we stick with it. So there's no blame or any of that sort of stuff, and it's good camaraderie, and we have, yeah, a fair bit of fun during the, well, I do anyway. But no, everybody's equal. I think that makes a big difference, and everybody, yeah, it just works well together. I think because we're small guys having a go, and we're all Corinthian as well. But it's not just in Australia. I get a lot of emails from around the world, especially England. There's a lot of SNS 34s over there, and I don't know how, but I've become the guru of SNS 34s, of people asking advice and how to prepare their boat and all sorts of stuff, and which is really enjoyable. And we've got a website, and we get a lot of attention on that as well. So it's good for the sport, I think. And a lot of the older boats, I think, are sort of getting looked at it again. You know, with if you can afford to bring them up to this standard for offshore racing, it's good for the sport. Before you can win, you've got to believe you can win, and yeah, I really think that we can, and we've come close so many times that, you know, you just want to keep coming back and thinking this is going to be your year, and for me this year it has to be. I still get just as excited today as that one 17, 18 times ago. There's nothing like a Hobart on race day.